Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Brock Page, and I'm still doing random sports picks for fun. You also might be surprised as to who I'm picking in the NBA today. If you just can't wait and you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. And with that said, let's get into some picks for April 11th. First game, Charlotte plus 7.5 at the Atlanta Hawks with the total at 206. When it comes to the spread, the Charlotte Hornets have done a great job against a number when facing Atlanta. Charlotte's 3-0 against the spread in their previous 3 matchups with the Hawks. The Hornets also cover a decent 60% of their games at the current point spread. They're facing an Atlanta team who's covered just 13 of 35 games as the favorite. Before last night's action, both teams' games have gone over the line in their previous 3 contests. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Charlotte at plus 7.5 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to the total points, I think this one goes over 206. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think the Atlanta Hawks win this one at home. I'm also adjusting the line and taking Charlotte plus 15.5 as the first pick of my 8-point teaser. I'm also adjusting the line once again and taking the over 198 as the second pick of that very same teaser. Next game, OKC at Minnesota. The betting opened up with the Thunder as the 5-point favorites and the total at 214. Since then, Minnesota's now -4 against the spread with the total points remaining at an even 214. And at the moment, the T-Wolves are laying 167 on the money line. Speaking of the Timberwolves, they've struggled as of late, losing their last 4, but they actually covered in 2 of those defeats. They're also a solid 20-13 against the spread versus teams over 500. When it comes to the total points, 2 out of both teams' last 3 games have gone under the total. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Minnesota at -4 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to the total points, I think this one stays under 214. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think Minnesota wins it at home. Next game, Denver at Dallas. The betting opened up with Dallas as the 5-point favorites and the total at 229.5. Since then, that line moved a whole bunch as we currently have ourselves a pick'em contest with the total points moving all the way down to a cool 212.5. Currently, the Nuggets are laying 110 on the money line, and at the moment, 50% of the money's on Denver as expected. Speaking of the Nuggets, they're 2-1 against the spread, heads up with the Mavs. They've also done a fine job against the number as of late, covering 3 of their last 4. They're facing a Maverick squad who lost their last 4 straight, failing to cover in each of those games. On a side note, 3 out of the Mavs' last 4 games have gone over the line. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Denver will get the job done in the pick'em. And when it comes to the total points, I'm taking the over 212.5. Next and final game for the show, Phoenix plus 3.5 at Sacramento, with the total points moving upward to a cool 219.5. Currently, the Kings are laying 160 on the money line, and at the moment, 65% of the money's on Sacramento to get the job done. Speaking of the Kings, they're 2-1 against the spread, heads up with the Suns. They've also done a fine job against the number as of late, covering 3 of their last 4. They're facing a Phoenix squad who's lost 13 of their last 15 and covered just 46% on the road. On a lighter note, 3 out of the Suns' last 4 games have gone over the total points. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Sacramento at -3.5 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to the total points, I think this one goes over 219.5. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think Sacramento wins it. I'm also adjusting the line and taking Sacramento plus 4.5 as the third and final pick of my super teaser. Just a reminder, my 8-point Sweetheart Super Teasers pay 5 to 6 and get graded as a loss should any game result in a push. You can find this exotic wager in several online sportsbooks and in the state of Delaware. Well, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page predictions and sports picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.